The festival of San Fermin in the city of Pamplona is a deeply rooted celebration held annually from 1200, July 6, when the opening of the party is marked by setting off the pyrotechnic chupinazo, to midnight July 14, with the singing of the Pobre de Mí. While its most famous event is the encierro, or the running of the bulls, which happens at 8 a.m. from July 7 to July 14, the week-long celebration involves many other traditional and folkloric events. It is known locally as Sanfermines and is held in honor of Saint Fermin, the co-patron of Navarre. Its events were central to the plot of The Sun Also Rises, by Ernest Hemingway, which brought it to the general attention of English-speaking people. It has become probably the most internationally renowned fiesta in Spain. Over 1 million people come to participate in this festival. History: Saint Fermin is said to have been the son of a Roman of senatorial rank in Pamplona in the 3rd century, who was converted to Christianity by Saint Honestus, a disciple of Saint Saturninus. According to tradition, he was baptized by Saturninus at the spot now known as the Small Well of Saint Fermin, was ordained a priest in Toulouse and returned to Pamplona as its first bishop. On a later preaching voyage, Fermin was beheaded in Amiens, France, and is now considered a martyr in the Catholic Church. It is believed he died on September 25, AD 303. There is no written record of veneration in Pamplona of the saint until the 12th century. Saint Fermin, as well as Saint Francis Xavier, are now the two patrons of Navarre. At Pamplona, Saint Fermin is now sometimes said to have met his end by being dragged through the streets. Origins: the celebration of the festival has its origin in the combination of two different medieval events. Commercial secular fairs were held at the beginning of the summer. As cattle merchants came into town with their animals, eventually bullfighting came to be organized as a part of the tradition. Specifically, they were first documented in the 14th century. On the other hand, religious ceremonies honoring the saint were held on October 10. However, in 1591 they were transferred to July 7 to take place at the same time as the fair. When Pamplona's weather is better. This is considered to be the beginning of the Sanfermines. During medieval times, acts included an opening speech, musicians, tournaments, theatre, bullfights, dances or even fireworks. Bull running appears in 17th and 18th century chronicles together with the presence of foreigners and the first concerns on the excessive drinking and dissolute behavior during the event. The Giants Parade was created by the end in the mid of the 19th century. The first official bull ring was constructed in 1844. Modern times. The worldwide fame of the modern festival, and the great number of foreign visitors it receives every year, are closely related to the description by Ernest Hemingway's book The Sun Also Rises and his job as a journalist. He was greatly amused in his first visit in 1923, coming back many times until 1959. Hemingway was also deeply fond of bull runnings and bullfights, but he did not participate in the running. Different city locations are famous in part due to the fact that the writer used to visit them, such as La Perla Hotel, or the Arua Place or minus a Cafar copyright. Single-day events, chupinazo. The opening of the festival is marked by setting off the pyrotechnic chupinazo. The rocket is launched at 12 o'clock noon on July 6 from a City Hall balcony with thousands of people celebrating the act in the City Hall Square and other locations in Pamplona. The chupinazo has officially marked the beginning of the fiesta since 1941. The person who sets it off is decided by the city mayor. Nevertheless, since 1979, tradition has been that each year after city elections the chupinazo is set off by a person from the different city council political groups, beginning with the mayor and then political groups ordered by number of representatives. There have been exceptions to this tradition, with some non-politicians being in charge of the act when they has performed significant achievements during the year. Examples of these exceptions were a player of the local football team, or the president of the Giants and Big Heads group in its 150 years anniversary. The Real was a mass activity held on July 6. The members of the city council parade from the city hall to a nearby chapel dedicated to Saint Fermin, with participants dancing to the Astrain waltz along the way. The tradition is thought to have begun in 1911. The procession was removed from the festival calendar in 1992 for the sake of public order, as political activists used the Rio to promote clashes with authorities. Protesting youths would often block the way, and it often took up to 5 hours for the city councillors to walk the 500 meters to the Saint Fermin chapel. Nevertheless, in recent years it has been held unofficially without the participation of the members of the city council. In 1996 and 2012 there were 2 failed attempts to restore the original act with the participation of the city council, both of them being cancelled due to the violent clashes with some participants. Saint Fermin procession. The key day of the festival is July 7, when thousands of people accompany the 15th-century statue of Saint Fermin through the old part of Pamplona. The statue is accompanied by dancers and street entertainers, and different political and religious authorities including the city mayor. During procession a jota is performed for the saint, a rose is offered in the Saint Fermin well, and the gigantes dance and twirl while the cathedral bell named Mara peals. Struendo. El Struendo is a single-day event with more than 50 years of tradition. It has been purposely left outside the official program and each year is celebrated on a different day, usually on a weekday so as to keep the crowds manageable. People gather at 11:59 p.m. at the town hall and make as much noise as possible for several hours, mainly with drums but also bowls, whistles or any other object. Pobre de Mí. After 9 days of partying, the people of Pamplona meet in the town hall plaza at midnight on July 14, singing the traditional mournful notes of the Pobre de Mí, in a candlelit ending. The city mayor closes the festival with participants lighting a candle and removing their red handkerchief. The act began in the 20s of the 20th century. Daily events, running of the bulls. The running of the bulls involves hundreds of people running in front of 6 bulls and another 6 steers down an 825-meter stretch of narrow streets of a section of the old town of Pamplona. The run ends in the Pamplona's bull ring, taking a mean time of around 3 minutes, where the bulls would be held until the afternoon's bullfight when they would be killed. Bull runs are held between 7th and 14th July. The event begins at 8 a.m. when a first firecracker is lit to announce the release of the bulls from their corral. Before the year 1924 it started at 6 and at 7 between 1924 and 1974. Runners gather earlier at the beginning of the itinerary to ask for the protection of the saint by singing a chant 3 times before a small statue of San Fermin which has been placed in a raised niche in a wall. A second cracker signals that the last bull has left the corral. There are 6 fighting bulls accompanied by 6 oxen that guide them to the plaza, and followed by 3 more not fighting oxen. There are also some shepherds guiding the bulls, wearing green t-shirts and holding long poles. Once all of the bulls have entered the arena, a 3rd rocket is released while a 4th firecracker indicates that the bulls are in their bull pens and the run has concluded. After the end of the run, young cows with wrapped horns are released in the bull ring and toss the participants, to the amusement of the crowd. The circuit has only changed slightly since 1852 as the former bull ring was located close to the present one. Before that date the bull running ended in the castle plaza, still not far from the present bull ring. While the origin of this tradition was the necessity to move the bulls from outside the city to the bull ring for the bullfight, it is not clear when did citizens begin to run in front of them. There are written records in 1787 that the tradition was already well established with no memory of its beginning. The tradition of singing for protection to the saint dates back to 1962. The event is dangerous. Since 1925, 15 people have been killed during the event, most recently on July 10, 2009, and every year between 200 and 300 people are injured during the run, although most injuries are contusions due to falls and are not serious. Giants and Bigheads Parade. Every day, during the morning, there is a parade of gigantes y cabzudos, with the giants' figures being more than 150 years old. The 8 giants' figures were built by the painter from Pamplona Taddeo Amarina in 1860, and represent 4 pairs of kings and queens of 4 different races and places. Their size is around 4 meters each and are carried by a dancer inside a wooden structure. During the parade, giants dance following the rhythm of traditional music. The remaining 17 figures include 6 Kailikis, 5 Bigheads, and 6 Saldigos, and were built at different times between 1860 and 1941. Kailukas and bigheads are caricaturesque, but human-like figures that are carried as helmets. Bigheads' masks are up to 1 meter high and Kailukas slightly smaller. While bigheads simply precede the giants and wave their hands at spectators, Kailukas run after children and carry a foam truncheon which they use to hit them with. Zaudikos, figures representing horses with their riders, also run after children with a truncheon. Traditional sports. There are exhibitions and competitions of Basque rural sports every morning in the Plaza de los Ferros, a square close to the city citadel, although they were formerly held in the bull ring. Sports include stone lifting, wood cutting, or hay bale lifting. On the other hand, the GLI tournament of San Fermin is a prestigious competition of this variety of Basque pelota. It is held in one of the courts of the city. Betting is common during these events. Bullfight. Every afternoon between 6th and 14th July there is a bullfight in which the 6 bulls that have been driven to the bull ring during the bull running of that day are killed. It begins at 18:30. In addition, the 5th bullfight with younger bulls and not fully trained bullfighters is performed, while the 6th features bullfighters on horses. While the bull ring of the city is the 4th largest in size in the world, it is full every afternoon and tickets are hard to find. Fireworks. Every night a fireworks spectacle is held at the Citadel Park. Fireworks spectacles have been known to occur in San Fermin as far back as 1595. Since the year 2000 an international fireworks contest is held. Thousands of people watch them seated on the grass around the Citadel. See also, Fiestas of International Tourist Interest of Spain, Notes and References. External links. Fiesta of San Fermin at Spanish National Television website, RTV is, the running of the bulls Encierro San Fermin en Livito 7.15 am Central European Time, GMT+2, the opening of the fiesta, Chupinazo 2010, the open ceremony by a girl from Pamplona, official guide to the Fiesta of San Fermin. Official photo Alma web specialized in the San Fermin festival photography, includes photographs of the bulls. Unofficial website on San Fermin and on Encierro, San Fermin Festival, how to attend in safety.